These are the reasons why this administration has failed. There's hunger in the land, too many, food is not affordable. The reason why the SDP has the solution is because fundamentally you change the system. For instance, you create more wealth, first and foremost, by releasing the natural resources and allowing the states to develop so that states can make arrangements with foreign investors to develop their resources without waiting for the federal government that may or may not support the project. This will create wealth. When you have wealth, unemployment will decrease. When you have free education, illiteracy will decrease. When you have wealth, poverty will decrease. When you have wealth, the economy will improve. The Naira will be at par. You remember when the Naira was, the Nigerian currency was at par with the pound. That was because the economy was strong.
Let me get
if the economy is strong,
let me get his thoughts in. Mr.
Our currency will be strong again.
You, going into 2019 as COA party, how do you view the extent to which the House of Representatives is going about righting some of the perceived wrongs in the Electoral Act?
Well, you know, the House of Reps will, and that is the role of the legislative arm of government, they are to interrogate and to see how laws can work better for the people. At times, they would provide solutions that may not exactly be the answers, and at times, you will have an improvement on those laws. The purpose, which I want to believe that they have presented those arguments, is to make sure that the electoral process is freer and fairer, more transparent and inclusive.
But are you confident?
Yes. No,
that the Electoral Act, especially to do with the points that they raised, looking at electronic voting and the card reader, are you confident as COA party going into the elections that those items in the electoral amendments that are up for debate will help your party, like COA party, for instance,
you see,
to get that mantle of leadership?
What will help COA party is not the act, but the implementation of the act. It is when my brother said, as long as it is a free and fair election, the freeness and the fairness of it includes the process, because the election is not the election day alone. It is neither the act. You can have a law, and if you don't implement it well, what can anybody do? If the House of Reps produces a fantastic act, and the person who is in INEC decides that he is going to pick and choose what part of the act is going to implement. But what the confidence I have, and that COA has, is that the Nigerian people are bigger than any party. The Nigerian people own the parties. It's not the parties that own the Nigerian people.
Okay, let's go to Abuja now, because Magwe has a question to throw in. Magwe.
Yeah, I've been listening to some of the conversations, and I can hear from Mr. Pierce. It seems that he's selling restructuring as the cure-all, be-all of all that is wrong with Nigeria. But some people will say that we should be careful of that narrative. They believe that it's going to take a while, that even restructuring needs to be done in such a manner that it doesn't disrupt the entire system. Is he going to recommend a wholesale, restructuring of the entire system as a radical restructuring, or is it something that he will say should be done gradually?
Well, anything that is done radically will be the military approach. We do not approach it in a radical manner. We approach it in a logical and sensible manner, by which I mean that even if it's first and foremost just a fiscal restructuring, that will help us a lot. That is to say, we free the natural resources, we free the economy. How can Ondo State be sitting on the third largest deposit of bitumen in the world and still be poor? You know, it's a crime. And that is because we have presidents who are economic illiterates. We have leaders who do not understand, who do not have the courage.
Sorry to interrupt you. As it currently stands, we understand that even the states are allowed to bring in investors as we speak. The Minister for Solid Minerals, a lot of the governors as we speak, commend him for his efforts in trying to free up the space in such a manner that states can participate and profit from whatever resources are in their state. What do you think is still, behind the inertia that we've seen on the part of some states?
What is behind the inertia is because that is a half-hearted discussion. It has not become law. I remember when it came up, asked Governor Mimiko, he said it, that it's just on paper. That's why it's not being implemented. This thing has to become law, and it has to be broad. But that's not the case now. There's a lot of falsehood going on in this administration. They will tell you, oh, now you can do this, but it's not really true. So we haven't had that yet. It must be made into law. Up till now, even geological survey is in the exclusive list. You can't even survey what you have in your state. So the National Confab is recommending that we go into the fiscal devolution first. So even if that's what we do in terms of restructuring, other things will fall in place gradually.
Okay, let's come back here, and I'm still with you, yes. Because it would seem to suggest that a party like COA, yes. Which you was running as for president, will have had all its plan all set together. Yes. What's that big plan that COA has to, for instance, look at the issues of devolution of powers, yes. how states can be self-sustaining, and things like that? What does COA party have as its plan?
Well, broadly speaking, COA party has restructuring the political economy, and we've had it since 2010 when COA was brought into, when COA came to birth, July 2010. We have those things. As you've said, we have them in our documents and in our manifesto, and right now we're going through a process of fine-tuning our manifesto, which has to do with the input of all presidential aspirants. Now, it's as a presidential aspirant, I mean, it's on the records in terms of how, for a long time, I have promoted and actually championed, you know, the process of restructuring, right from Jonathan's conference. Now, what I'm saying is that there's a difference between having something on paper and actually believing it. And I've said that the reason why that Nigeria has not been able to address this particular issue.
Okay, I'll let you to conclude on that just shortly after we return after this break.
Okay.
Just hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies.
Okay.
I'm afraid that's the much we can take, unfortunately. We would like to thank you very much indeed for talking to us on the show today. Of course, yes. Fagbenro-Byron, presidential aspirant of COA Party,
thank you very
and
much.
Also presidential aspirant.
Presidential aspirant, probably with a coalition with SDP. You know, if they could adopt me.
Are you making it public now?
With that restructuring commitment,
we believe in restructuring.
If you also believe in the social welfare program, we are together.
SDP and a senior lecturer at University of Lagos. Thank you so much indeed for talking.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
And so, Daily will be back in just a moment with another different issue entirely. Join us again.